Hello everybody, welcome to the Warbossfitz channel. If this is your first time with us, you are in luck. This is officially the first episode of the channel's first Grim Dark Future campaign. Named after the planet it is going to be taking place on, Palal. If you want to know what the storyline is for the campaign before we get started, I'm going to link up in the corner episode 0, where we go over the storyline on how we're going to have these two forces collide together. Now, picking up from where we left off, the Orc fleet is rocketing towards Palal. But Orcs, being Orcs, they're all competing to get there first. So our storyline for the first mission, the first Orc ship to make it into the system, launches itself towards the planet. We can't be sure if it was a malfunction or if the Orcs really just wanted to be there the absolute fastest possible. Their ship is going to crash right onto the surface of the planet. Of course, being an Orc ship made out of literal scrap and garbage, the ship wreckage is going to spread for miles. Even then, there will be Orcs that pull themselves out of the carnage to go start doing Orc things. So that is where we're going to pick up on the first mission. Now for the technicals part of the campaign. We're going to be using it pretty much straight out of the book. We're going to start off with 1,000 points using the campaign progression as it is written. We're going to have XP, things are going to level up, things are going to die, and the games will progressively get bigger as we go along. So that is enough yammering about story building. Let's get to the game. Welcome onto the garage for the first mission of the Palal Grim Dark Future campaign. Now, as you saw in the setup, one of the Orc light ships got a little bit too enthusiastic and decided to ram itself into the planet. But as we all know, it takes a little bit more than dropping from orbit to kill Orcs. So in our first mission, it is going to be a 1,000-ish point game, where we have the Grimdark Future Orc Marauders, which consist of 4 Orc mobs and 1 Orc Walker, fighting against Age of Fantasy Saurians, consisting of 10 Saurian warriors, 10 geckos with a gecko champion, 5 chameleons, a Spinosaurus, and an Ankylosaurus. The storyline behind this mission is the Orcs, after clawing their way out of their spaceship crash, are setting out into the jungle to do what Orcs do. And for the Saurians, the story for them is whatever was in the area has definitely been alerted that something large has struck the planet, and they are going to go investigate. Now, we are going to be using some of the advanced rules, notably the assault rule. So over the course of the campaign, the assault rule is going to be in effect. We're also going to be using the campaign system for XP on the units. So as time goes on, these units will get stronger and stronger, and the games will probably be getting bigger and bigger. So for our first mission, it is going to be a kill point style of mission. Each army has 5 units on the field. If you destroy an enemy unit or cause it to be routed off the board, your team gets a victory point. For the terrain, it is going to be a very dense, packed jungle board on one side, and the other side is going to be parts of the Orc ship that have been flung off of it as it has come in and quote-unquote landed. We're going to be giving the Saurians first turn, home field advantage. And I think that's enough yapping for me. Let's go ahead and start rolling some dice. First unit we are going to activate are going to be these geckos here. They are going to use their fast rule given to them by the gecko champion here. All the lists are down in the description. They're going to go ahead and start moving through the woods to right about there. Then this unit Orcs over here, they're going to move forward to try to get to grips with whatever might be in those bushes. The unit of Saurians are going to move forward to right there, and as you can see, I've made the jungles modular so we can move all the plant life around on them. So everyone has free reign to move through the jungles, it's just difficult terrain. Orcs, 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 Orcs. The big old chonker of an Ankylosaur. Oh Lord, he coming! More Orcs moving. The chameleons in the trees moving out to there. The last unit Orc boys to there. Then the Spinosaurus round the outside. Then over on the far flank, the last thing to move this turn is that Orc Walker. Turn 1 is in the can. As the orc mobs charge blindly into the jungle, some of the Saurians can see the orcs through the trees. We are going to see some combat on turn number 2. First activation of turn number 2, we're going to have the Ankylosaur move forward. It's going to use its face to plug that hole in the jungle, and its spear crew on its back are going to start hurling javelins at that lead mob of orcs. So it's going to be 6 shots hitting on a 4. We got 3 hits. AP 1 and poison. The orcs are rocking a 5-up save. They fail all 3, so that's going to be 3 of the orc boys down. Never ones to back down from a fight. These orc boys are going to charge right into that Ankylosaur. So that's as far as they can get without going through difficult terrain. So now they get their 3 inches of consolidation. So everyone's going to be able to get in there to fight. They're all within 2 inches of the target unit, who is the Ankylosaur. So let's get ready to roll some dice. First, we got the big ones. We got 2 guys in there with claws, so it's going to be 4 attacks. AP 4, hitting on a 4. That's a cocked dice. So we got 2 hits there. Ankylosaur saves on a 2, but with the AP 4, saves on a 6. So there's 2 fails. The rest of the orcs, we got 10 attacks on a 4. Ooh, not terrible, but they are furious. So there's 2 6s in there, so that means 2 extra hits. AP nothing, so save it on a 2. Oh, fails 2 more. And I forgot furious was a thing until right now. I think one of those black dice was a 6, and it's a fail. So we have 4 wounds on the Ankylosaur. We're going to keep that over here. Ankylosaur fighting back. It has 2 attacks with its mace tail on a 4. Whiff, whiff. And then 4 attacks with its stomp. We got 1 hit. That's 1 more dead orc. Ooh. So that's 1 to 4. Ankylosaur has a fear of 2. So that means the Ankylosaur is still going to lose combat and needs to take morale test. Morale test on a 4. Ooh, cocked as hell. On a 4, it passes. So the orc boys just got to back up an inch. And then Big Chungus is down to 8 wounds left. So this unit of geckos, they're going to move into this piece of terrain. They have striders, so they get to ignore difficult. And the geckos are going to end up there. So what the geckos are going to do, they're going to be all sneaky in the bushes, and they are going to start throwing some javelins at that orc walker, seeing what they could do to knock some wounds off of it. They're all going to hit on a 5. All the javelins are AP 1 with poison. So with the leader added in, it's 12 shots on a 5. We got 3 hits. Walker has a save of 2. AP 1 makes it a 3. Poison means they have to re-roll any 6s. Hey, 2 6s. So here we go. It takes 2 wounds. So the Hugbot over here is down to 10 wounds remaining. Next, we're going to activate this unit of orc boys here. But with the Ankylosaur, clogging everything up with its face, they're not going to be able to get into close combat. So they're just going to move forward and fire their pistols. So that's as far as they're going to make it. All the pistols have 1 shot apiece. Hitting on a 5 with bad shot. Oh, we got a couple. We got 4 hits. 5 hits. Ankylosaur saves on a 2. It's going to take 1 more, going down to 7. The unit of chameleons is a little too far back. They're going to go ahead and move forward to right there. With that difficult terrain, that orc walker cannot get to the geckos, even though it would have been able to. So it's going to move right up to the edge and get stopped by some trees. The Spinosaurus running up the flank. It's going to keep on coming. And there it is. This unit of orc boys here, they are going to move forward to right there, just in the middle of everything. The Saurian warrior is going to activate next, and they are going to charge into those orcs in the front. Now, even though they are lizards, they are still bound by difficult terrain because they don't have strider. So let's move some stuff around. Even with a 3-inch wiggle, that is the best they can do, but it is close enough to get everybody in there to attack. So we got 10 Saurian warriors. We're going to have 10 attacks, hitting on a 4. They have a predator. And even though it went all the way over there, that's 1. So we got 4 hits. 2 of those are 6s, so we got the predator attack. We got 2 more hits, so 6 total. Then the orcs save on a 5. That's a cocked dice. So they're going to save 1, which means they lose 5 more, leaving us with 1 orc to fight back. And he's going to miss. So the orc needs a morale test on a 4. And that is a 1. So he is going to bloop, not take one with him. So first victory point of the game goes to the Saurians. Then last activation goes to this unit of Orc boys. That was quite a surprise for the Orcs as they approached the tree line. Spears and dinosaurs came charging out at them. Let's see how they are going to recover on turn number 3. Activating first on turn number 3, those Saurian warriors are going to charge out into that Orc mob in the middle. Still bound up by difficult terrain, they are able to get all 10 of the Saurian warriors within a charge attack distance. So let's go ahead and roll some dice. 10 attacks on a 4. Ooh, we only got 2 hits this time. Saving on a 5. For only 1 orc going down, it looks like the dice have decided that this is not the Saurians' combat. So the orcs are going to move to attack back. Orcs are going to attack back, hitting on a 4. Not terrible. They didn't charge in this combat, so those 6s don't trigger Furious. So that one black one was from a claw on a 6. That's a fail. And the rest of them on a 4. So they got 2 more. So 3-1, those Saurians lost combat. They're going to pass their morale test. So Orcs activation. Those geckos were safe last turn because of the difficult terrain, but this turn, boof. Bah! So the Orc Walker has 8 attacks with his claws, 4 attacks with his stomp. Everything hits on a 4. And some stuff went off screen. So that's what we rolled. So get rid of everything that's not a 4 up. Then we got 1 Furious Claw and 1 Furious Stomp. Geckos save on a 5. Everything is at least AP 1. Saving on a 6. That's a cocked dice. Okay, there we got another 6. So that was 4 dead geckos. So those go down. The rest of the geckos are going to pile in. 6 geckos in the champion, all hitting on a 5. They got absolutely nothing. Okay, that makes it easy. Geckos lose combat, pass on a 5, and they pass their morale test. The Spinosaurus on this side of the field, we're going to have our first assault action. The Spino is going to spit some venom into that unit of Orc boys and then charge them. Normally you'd hit on a 4, but right now we're looking for a 5. We got 1 hit, so that's going to be a blast of 3. Orc boys saving on a 5. We have 1 save, so that's going to be 2 dead Orc boys. Then the Spinosaurus charges in. It's going to be hitting on a 5. We have 6 poisoned attacks and 4 stomps. So we had 2 poisoned attacks hit. It is Predator. That would have hit, but not in this case. Saving on a 5. We have 1 save, but with poison. Ooh, I keep throwing onto the bushes. So there's going to be 2 more dead orcs. We got 6 orc boys left. 2 of them have those claws. Hitting on a 4. 2 hits total. Spinosaurus saves on a 3. Passes them both. Orcs need a morale test. And they're going to fail. The first fail we've had tonight. So they're going to end up pinned, and the Spinosaurus just backs up an inch. The unit of Orc boys in the middle, because they've already fought this turn, they're going to take a right and try to go through that jungle and then shoot at the Ankylosaurus. It's going to be 9 shots, looking for a 5. Hey, oh, that's a lot of 6s. We got 5 hits. Saving on a 2. It takes 2 wounds, which takes it below half. Dropping the big guy down to 5. Morale test time. And it is going to fail. That Ankylosaurus is now stunned. To be perfectly honest, I did not see that coming. After seeing what happened over here, these geckos are going to back up. And they are going to throw some javelins at that walker. That's where they end up. Hitting on a 5. 1 hit. He has a 2-up save, rolled a 2, but because they are firing into cover, which is the jungle, it's going to pass its save. In the middle, this unit of Orc boys that hasn't activated yet have a clear path to dive onto those Saurian warriors. But because it is so tight, only 9 out of 10 of those Orcs are going to be able to fight, hitting on a 4. So So those are our hits. We got 2 6s for Furious. 2 saving on a 6. So there's 1. And the rest saving on a 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So they lose a total of 5. We got 2 Saurians to fight back with. Morale test for the Saurians. They're going to pass. Yeah, they don't. They really don't care. These chameleons over here, they are going to fire on that Orc Walker. 5 shots hitting on a 4. We got 3 hits. With cover, saving on a 2, but they do have poison. It doesn't matter. It's going to take 2 more wounds. Bringing the big guy down to 8. So for the last 2 activations of the turn, they're going to recover, and he is going to recover. So at the end of turn number 3, the dice have determined that not that much is going to die that turn. Between whole fistfuls of dice just missing and morale tests being passed over and over again, let's see what happens in turn number 4. So now that they lost 1 unit, the Orcs finished activating first last turn, so they get to go first this turn. Our unit that's up in that jungle, they are going to charge the Ankylosaur. Whole bunch of attacks hitting on a 4. So we only had 1 6 in that whole group, but it was one of the power claws. So 4 hits at AP4, looking for a 6. Saves a 1, that means the big guy is down to 2. Lost 3 so far, the rest looking for a 2. That's going to do it. 1 and 2. That will be the end of the Ankylosaur. First activation of turn 4 for the Saurians. The Spinosaur is going to charge into that unit of Orcs in front of it. No splitting up attacks this time. That did not feel very cash money last turn. So 10 attacks overall, hitting on a 4. The Spinosaur has the Primal Roar ability, which it hasn't used on anybody yet in the game, so we're going to say go ahead and use it on itself. So that means all the Predator starts on a 5. So we got 3 of the Poison attack, 1 of the Stomp on a 4. So we just ended up with 1 more Poison attack. Stomp saving on a 6. There's 2. And the rest saving on a 5 with Poison. We roll that 6. So there goes 5. So there goes 5 overall. Leaving us with 1 Orc left. We're going to say he's got the claws. 1. That's going to be 1 wound on the Spinosaur. Down to 11. Morale test for that single Orc. It's going to fail. So he is out of there. Next, we don't have to travel too far. We're going to this unit of Orcs in the middle. They're going to charge into those 2 Saurian warriors. Like that. Now, normally I would just remove them, but because this is a campaign, let's see what happens. So that was our to-hit roll. We got those 2 6s in there. That's going to be enough. Take out those 2 Saurians. So over on this flank, this is all we have left to activate, and because the Orc Walker can't catch anybody because he's still in difficult terrain, we're going to go ahead and move that first. Just enough to poke his face out there. And then we're going to have both of these squads fire at him. First, we're going to do the geckos. We got 4 hits, saving on a 3. He's going to take 2 wounds. It means it is down to 6. Morale test for the big guy. He's going to fail. So he is stunned. And then we have the chameleons. 5 shots, same target, hitting on a 4. We only got 2 hits, 2 saves. Makes the saves. At the end of turn 4, we are tied 2-2. We can't have that. So I have made the executive decision. We're going to travel on to turn number 5. At the beginning of turn number 5, with this Orc Walker stunned, that means we're going to have to look elsewhere for stuff to happen. This squad of Orc boys right here, staring down the barrel of a Spinosaurus, are going to charge all the Orcs' attacks, looking for a 4. So there's all of our attacks. We got 3 there and 1 there with the Furious. Saving on a 6. 2 fails there. And then saving on a 3. 4 fails there. So down 6. It means the Spinosaurus has 5 left. attacking back on a 4. Saving on a 6, 2 fails. And saving on a 5. 2 saves, 2 fails. So we lose 4. He's got fear of 2. This ends up being a tied combat. These geckos have decided they are absolutely nuts. So with 6 wounds left and stunned, they are going to charge into that Orc Walker. All their attacks on a 5. Ooh, that looks good. Unfortunately, the geckos are not predators. Otherwise, that would have been real good. But we got 5 hits. Saving on a 2 with poison. Oh, he's got 2 fails there. We got 1 6. We got to re-roll into a 6. So that means big guy is down to 4. Orc Walker fights back. He's already stunned. So on a 6, we got 4 6s. Oh, kind of off camera. That's what the roll was. We ended up with 4 6s. Saving on a 6. So they fail 4. That was probably not the best idea. The Orc Walker has a fear of 2. So he ended up winning combat by 2 because they caused 4, he caused 4. The geckos fail, but they are fearless. They still fail and they take off running. I've got my ordering all screwed up. But you know what? It's turn 5. We're in weird spots. This Spinosaurus is going to attack those orcs there. He's already fatigued, so everything out of 6. Got 3 hits. All of those, of course, trigger Predator, which, you know, only looking for 6. No more hits. So we got save, save, fail. Ooh. Orcs fight back on a 6. We got 3 6s. 2 of those are the AP 4s. That's going to be 2 fails, and then a 3. That's a save. So big guy is down to 3 wounds left. They did 2 wounds. He did 1, but that Spinosaur is a fear of 2, so the Spinosaur wins combat, and the Orcs pass their morale test. Now I got my activations right, because it was Orc Boys, Geckos, Spino. Okay, now we're here. Orc time. The unit of Orcs that are in the middle, they are going to charge into those chameleons. So once again, because everything is tight, not everyone can get into combat, but they are going to be hitting on a 4. We ended up with 5 hits. Time for them to save on a 5. So they had 1 save out of all that. So that's 4 chameleons down. Leaving 1 to fight back on a 5. And it fails. So chameleons, morale test, it fails, but they are fearless. So they are going to pass. The chameleon is just going to take off running. Maybe he can report back to somebody that the orcs have landed. And then last activation, this guy down here, he is going to recover. And at the end of turn 5, we finally have a winner. So at the end of turn 5, the orcs end up winning the mission 3 victory points to 2. They ended up taking 3 squads off the board and only lost 2 orc squads. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go inside, and we are going to level everybody up. Now looking at Army Forge to see what has happened with these different units, we start rolling some dice to see who's going to live and who is going to die and what's going to happen. And fortunately, but unfortunately, anticlimactic. All of the units that died in that battle either rolled a 3, 4, or 5. The only exception is the Ankylosaur, who ended up rolling a 6. So even though it went down in battle, it still comes back, but now with 1 extra XP. Then, because the first game was small enough and the casualties were spread out, no one gets enough experience points to level up. So the unit with the highest XP ended up being the Orc Walker. It ended up getting 3 experience points for taking out the unit of geckos with their hero and surviving the battle. So nothing cool to report on yet, but in the coming games, things will start to get interesting as we level up some units. For winning the victory on the field, the Orcs get 150 points to add more units, and they get 2 victory points for the campaign. The Saurians, because they lost, ended up getting 300 points to upgrade the army. Now this is the part of the video where I tell you, the audience, how you can participate in the campaign and what your battle reports are going to do. The way you can participate in this campaign is to send in battle reports for Grim Dark Future. to either the Warbossfitz Discord, or you can email them into me at warbossfitz@gmail.com. Your army does not have to be Saurians, and it does not have to be Orcs. You just have to declare a side that you're fighting for. Every battle report that comes in, the victor of that battle report will get 1 victory point in the campaign. That means per battle report. So, even though playing it out here on the channel, the point value of the armies will abide by the campaign rules. The battle reports that get sent in are going to weight the actual victor of the campaign and the way the storyline progresses much more than the battles you see on camera. The way I think about it is, an orc invasion of a planet is going to be much, much more than I can put on a single table of Grimdark Future. So you guys out there in the audience, you're playing out the rest of the fights on the planet. So how long do you have for these battle reports? Well, because this is a Grimdark Future / Warfleets campaign, there's going to be 2 weeks between episodes. And each system is going to bounce between episodes. So 2 weeks from today, it will be a Warfleets campaign game. So you will have 4 weeks or a whole month to get your games of Grimdark Future in. And then for the Warfleet section, it will be 2 more weeks, and then we'll have a Grimdark Future game. This way it gives you time to play your games, take some pictures, and send them in. And you can send in more than 1 battle report each time. I'm not going to tell orc war bosses that they can't fight. Go forth and crump. So that will do it for episode 1 of the Palal campaign. Links to the list down in the description of how they started and how they ended up. Links to the Discord and the email address for you to send in your battle reports. And as for me, I hope you guys are out there having a whole bunch of fun playing OPR, and I hope to see you across the table one day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.